And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with One and Done. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I guess we have I'm excited about today's topic. It's the best topic in the world, but we'll wait to introduce it. You guys come on in, and go ahead and share, like, and subscribe. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So go ahead, and if you see us, go ahead and share this live. I am going to go right now and share this live to my Facebook page.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so good evening to everyone. We have a very exciting topic. Typically, when we are on live, we're talking about issues and challenges that our community are plagued with or has been plagued with. And then we try to provide different types of skill sets to help us navigate through those challenges to safety and sustainability. And so here we have the holiday season. And since it is the holiday season, we're going to change it up just a little bit. We want to add a little bit of joy. We want to add a little bit of hope. We want to leave the audience this evening with some encouragement. And so we have a special edition on tonight. This special edition is our holiday season discussion. We have several questions. When you join, come on and put your comments into the chat box. Share it with your family, your friends, your loved ones, those who will be watching the replay. Come on and put your comments in there into the comment box. We definitely love to look back over those comments, and we like to have that dialogue and open discussion. How you doing, Brother Norman Murray, all the way from the East Coast? God bless you and your wife. Thank you for stopping on in and saying hello. Give the family our warm wishes, love, and prayers. With that being said, what is the purpose for having a special holiday season? Let me tell you, one of the purposes for having this holiday season discussion is because we know we've been seeing a lot. We've been seeing a whole lot of action that's been going on. We have a 15-year-old murdering 4 students and wounding others in Michigan. That what a tragedy for a 15-year-old to have his mind infiltrated to go into a school and murder 4 other students and injure several. We just saw in Waukesha, Wisconsin, a gentleman driving an SUV plowed into a parade and killed several individuals and wounded 40 more people. And then, of course, down here in Minnesota, the great state of Minnesota, some people like to say the Kim Potter murder trial for when Dante Wright was killed in Brooklyn Center is going on, and not to mention the new Omicron variant. It seems like this pandemic is not ending. It seems like this pandemic is a continual thing. We're talking about 2 years and counting. And so on tonight, we're not going to be heavy. On tonight, we have our special holiday season edition. We're going to be dealing with just a light conversation, hopefully to encourage your households from our household. And we see our guest is here with us, Maria Johnson. Hey, girl.
Say something, Maria. Let's see if your volume's working.
Hey,
Maria.
how you doing? Is there a delay? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. There is a
Can
little
you hear
bit
me
of
okay?
Yes, we can hear you. You're freezing up a little bit. You may need to get somewhere where
a little bit of a delay. Yeah,
you're freezing a little bit.
That's all right, and that's all right. And as our very own Maria Johnson, all the way from North Carolina, is going to be joining us. We're having a little bit of technology issues, but that's all right. Once we get it figured out, we're going to keep on trucking. And Onika, why is the holiday season so special to you?
It's the most wonderful time. It's just there's so much. I'm so excited, you guys, because in my household, I just have to stop, because in my household, like, the holiday season is like a big deal for me. And everybody, husband knows, kids know, mom knows, family knows that it is a huge deal for me, because I feel like it's this time of like love and joy and celebrating, and I have so many fond memories when I was growing up as a child, because it was a big deal in my household too. There was nothing more that I love than putting up our Christmas tree. My mom and I putting up our Christmas tree and celebrating Christmas. It's just, I just remember, like, as a child, like, it was just the best time of the year for me. And then growing up in Minnesota, like, everything about the holiday season, it's always like snow and cold. And so you're growing up in Minnesota and you have these big snowstorms. I remember when I was probably 5th grade, and one of the biggest snowstorms of the year like happened like the day before we were getting out for Thanksgiving. But as an adult, I look back on it and it was amazing. Like, it was the best time. Like, everybody's like, what? Who likes 8 feet of snow? Like, who? It was the best time. The best time. So it just brings, nostalgia to me. And then it just reminds me of, you just appreciate all of the people, all of your family, all of your friends. It just brings out that extra joy. And we definitely can't forget Christ's birthday, even though we know it's really not his birthday.
Right.
If there is a day to celebrate Christ, let's celebrate him. And Christmas, I love it.
All right. As you all does not play, this is definitely her time of the season. You better not spoil this time of the season. I mean, my goodness.
You better not. You like you love it. Every year I go through this. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Every year I go through this with our son putting up. I don't want to put up the Christmas tree. Oh, we're going to put up this Christmas tree together.
All right. Thank you for that, honey. She's definitely in the spirit, and it's going to carry over. I'm talking about this household probably don't take down that tree until I think spring, April sometime. Praise the Lord. But we have troubleshooted the issue. We have a lovely friend, family member. Special. I was trying to keep the special guest as a surprise, but the cat came out the bag. Nevertheless,
of course, you can't keep it from me.
We want to welcome our friend, our family, Maria Johnson, all the way in North Carolina. And Maria, can you please just share a little bit with us this evening? How did you and the family's transition go from Minnesota all the way to North Carolina? And possibly throw a couple of plugs in there about your business that you got going on, and however else you would like to introduce yourself.
Right. Well, thank you for having me, Millers. I miss you guys. It's so good to see you guys. If I can come to this phone and hug y'all. The transition has been a transition. Let me tell you, it took 3 days to get here. It was a very long drive. But we got into our house, everything. The kids are in school. Randy's working from home, which is amazing. And things are going good. I miss Minnesota. I must admit, at first I was like, yeah, North Carolina, here I come. But now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, I miss Wildfire. I miss Benihana's. I miss my thrift stores. I just miss my routine.
Yeah.
So it has taken a while for me to get into a nice little groove. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So I'm starting to get my little shops and getting my little stores and restaurants, and the kids and I are out and about, and I'm meeting people, visited some churches, so it's been a slow process. It's very different here. We live in a very rural area, so like down the street are horses and cows, and I'm north side, so it's like
very much.
I go from hearing sirens and just city life to hearing absolutely nothing.
Oh,
yeah.
You're not scared?
Yeah, like since we've been here, I swear I heard the sirens like twice. And we've been here for almost 7 months.
I'm checking.
It's a good thing. I'm very safe. I feel very safe and very, it's very nice, but it's different going from city to pretty much country.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Maria, tell us like one of the best things about being in North Carolina.
The weather. The weather, it's like, it's different. Like I remember, obviously what you said about Christmas and winter and snow. I do kind of miss that. I'm decorating the house, decorating the outside, and there's no snow. So it is, it's different, but it's nice. Like we're going out. We went out today. Marcellus had shorts on. It's 70 degrees. You don't have to run to the car and run into the house. And, there's a lot to do that you can do outside now, like go to the tree lighting ceremony. They got so much stuff to do here. So that's been a nice thing. The weather is beautiful. And all the scenery, it's like so green and it's just so pretty. It's really pretty here.
That is good. That is good to hear. I'm a little bit jealous when she said that 70. I'm telling you, I'm a little bit jealous. Especially that we know we get ready to head into some cold, wintry months. But Johnson, we want to thank you for sending those beautiful gifts, right? Your anniversary. And can you tell us a little bit? I just want to tell the audience that is on here live with us and that will watch the replay. Maria Johnson did all of my flyer work for One and Done. Yay! She did several pieces for our entire household. I mean, my goodness, I remember my mom passing away. She did a piece for my mother. Maria Johnson has truly been a blessing in our family, in our household. And so can you tell us this evening a little bit about what you got going on with your business?
Well, I'm actually going to be in a boutique, and it's a African-American boutique in downtown Huntersville for the Christmas season. Wow. Yeah. So like I said, I'm getting myself out there. So I've been doing some illustration pieces, and I actually started doing these little peg dolls. And I know Randy calls them, Randy's like, are you working on your dolls again? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on my dolls. It's a little hobby I started, but I really love it. And so they're guardian angels. So I started designing guardian angels and like little rainbow babies for people, because I had a miscarriage and I know how hard that is. And so I designed like little babies, rainbow, I call them my rainbow angels. And so like if you know somebody who has lost a baby or has dealt with a loss, then you can send them a nice little rainbow baby. I say guardian angels. So those who have lost family members or are going through something like that, I do little design little guardian angels and other little pieces. But yeah, so it's called Sweet Angels, and you can find it on Facebook, Sweet Angels NC, North Carolina. And then I've just been illustrating, doing some new artwork, and that's Maria Illustration. So yeah.
All right.
Art scene.
All right. And for those who will be asking about more of Maria Johnson's services, we'd be more than glad to get you the contact info. And my goodness, and let's just support one another. You know, my wife went ahead and shared with us, Maria Johnson, why the holiday season is so special to her. Can you share with us why the holiday season is so special to you? Because I know you're the same. You got kindred spirit.
It is very special. I am an only child, so it was just me and my mother. But my mom would always make Christmas very special. I'd wake up, I'd run to the tree. She'd have everything laid out. She'd make a nice dinner. And so I remember just special Christmas moments with my mother. Mm-hmm. But now that I have 6 children, and my oldest is 15. And so ever since Jada's been a baby, like I got my villages, I got my Christmas trees, I got my decorations. Some of them still believe in Santa, I'll be honest. And I love going shopping, and it's just something about Christmas. It's creating memories. And you know, that my children will grow up and pass on to their children. And it's just a very special time. And I want to install in my children how important Christmas and family time is, because that holiday only comes once a year. And so why not make the best out of it, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for answering that. Honey, do you want to take the second question right here?
Yes, I want to add to that, because you said something about like passing down like traditions and you know, when and that's exactly what happens. Like you said, you spent, you know, a lot of time with your mom. It was you and your mom, and the same with me. And so those traditions, you just kind of carry on into your own family. And so I tell Trey all the time, I said, you know, there's going to be a time that I'm not going to be here, and putting up the Christmas tree, with you and your family is going to mean something, you know, totally different. So yes, traditions, carrying on those traditions and things about, you know, the holiday seasons and families, it's important. It's important. Okay.
So let me say something real quick, like, and your kids will know these traditions. Like, we don't put our Christmas tree up until the day after Thanksgiving. I put it up a little early, and all the kids were like, "What are you doing, Mom?" Like, we have a tradition. We wake up, we have breakfast, we put up the tree, we put on Christmas music, and that's what we do. So the kids, like, no matter how old they are, they remember these special moments, and they look forward to it every year.
Yes. And I don't know if that's a thing, because we put ours up the day after Thanksgiving too. And that was a tradition in my household growing up. And so when COVID hit last year and we were all stuck in the house, I was like, no. After Halloween, I was like, this tree is going up. We need some holiday cheer, some love, lights, some bling up in here to bring some joy. So I put it up early. And then this year I put it up a week early too. So I don't know, we might be creating a new tradition. Who knows? All right. So our next question, with all of the events going on in the world, how would you encourage others during this holiday season?
Yeah, so, and I want to chime on this just a little bit. Now, we talked about, this is for our audience, right? We talked about what Christmas and the holiday season means to us, right? But now we have some real issues going on. And these issues that are taking place can kind of be the damper into the heart, right, of individuals. And so it can be kind of hard to get into that celebratory spirit, right? And so the question becomes, how do we encourage others when they may not even feel like going on or feel like celebrating during this season?
I would personally, first I would pray for them. Obviously, I'm going to pray that the Lord helps them, speaks to them, and encourages their heart. In any fashion that he will do. But I would, if they don't have nobody or anything, or if they're feeling alone, I would actually invite them over to my home. And because, you know, they might be sitting in a dark room at home. They might be very depressed, very sad, don't feel like going on. Even if it's just having a piece of cheesecake or some dessert, or getting them a little gift or something, or sending them a nice Christmas card. You know, that's what I've been doing. I've been sending my friends cards, like, just to let you guys know, hey, don't forget about me, okay? I might not be in Minnesota, but don't forget about me. Yeah. So my thing is, I'm a gifter, so I love giving gifts, or just a little trinket, or a phone call, or inviting them over, just to let them know that you care about them.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. That's
awesome. I agree. Did you want to answer that question, honey?
No, I was gonna pass it to you.
You want me to answer the question? Sure. So I mean, the same. I think it's really just having an ear and tuning into the needs of the person. This time of year, when you have lost somebody, or it's not, you know, you're down or you're depressed, because sometimes the holiday season, if you have all these memories and, you know, with this person and this person's not here, it could be and can be a sad time.
Yeah.
And so just as a person on the outside, you know, all of the things that you said, invite them over, you know, invite them in, but also just trying to, you know, have an ear, you know, or just being there, for that person during this time. I mean, you know, what I like to do might not be what somebody else likes to do, but I think the best thing that we can do is try to be that ear, try to be that listening ear, and be there for that person.
I like that. You know, sometimes it just takes to validate one's experience. You know, be able to identify with the struggle, be able to identify with infirmities, right? Be able to identify with grieving, losing a loved one. And as one may be identifying with another individual, it actually gives an opportunity to transfer that love, right? And that empathy, and people can actually feel that in their heart. Just like people can feel negative energy, people can feel positive energy. Just like people can feel fake energy, people can feel authentic energy. And then an internal healing can begin to take place, and a bond can take place. And then who knows, that might turn into a lifetime friendship or a lifetime relationship, right? I think that's how kind of intimate partners come together, right? They cross paths and they feel each other internally, and then becomes a physical thing, right? And so I love that. What are you over there smiling about, Maria? What are you thinking about?
Hey, what you just said was right on. You know, it was good. It was good what you said. I don't know. Just being there for the person, you know, not everybody is in the same place as we are. Like, I miss my mother. My mother's not going to be here for the holidays. So, you know, it's kind of sad, no matter if it's a death or if it's just you're in a new state, or you're somewhere where there's no family around. It gets kind of isolating, and it gets kind of sad. So it's good to just, you know, be there for that person.
You know, that's awesome. You know, what I mean by awesome, not so much that I know this is your first season away from your mother, but it's
and my girls and my friends.
It's awesome on how you mentioned that, because it actually flows right into our next question. You know, and I'm thinking that what are some steps one can take when they're actually, you know, missing their family member? And missing doesn't always have to mean someone's deceased. It can be like, you know, that distance, right? It could be what Onika mentioned. You know, we're in the pandemic and we have to practice social distancing. They're talking about another lockdown, etc. Right? And what about even those who are incarcerated, right? Fathers who are away from their children, right? And mothers who are in Shakopee away from their children, right? You know, just think about those that are actually physically present but don't have no life within. And so being absent shows up in various different ways. So the next question becomes for us, the holiday season is typically spent with loved ones. For those who may not be able to be with family or may feel like they have no family, what can we recommend for them during this season? What can we recommend?
So I would go back to one, what Maria said the very first time is just to, invite them in. If someone has invite them to dinner, invite them to game night, invite them, because for us, like leading up into Christmas, like we like to gather. And so invite them. I would also say, during this time, especially because we're practicing social distancing, there's so many ways that you can connect rather than in person. So we're connecting right here. So get on a Zoom call with that loved one, and you can have game night on Zoom,
Right.
plan it out. So that you can spend time, you know what I'm saying, with your loved one. So Maria, your mom isn't here. I don't know if she knows how to Zoom, but you could teach her how to Zoom. So so you guys can connect during this time.
Right. Yes, I agree. I also think that besides people, you inviting them in, I'm also recommending try to find. There's so many churches and there's so many outreach groups and organizations that do a lot for people. Like, I mean, there's like a church on every corner here in North Carolina, and they have signs like a nativity night and all types of stuff. I would say really, like, if you don't have nobody, try to hook up with a Google organization, Christmas events, get yourself out there. If you don't want to go out there, try to find a little hobby or write in your journal, write your feelings down, do something like that. Keep yourself busy, keep your mind busy, because if you stay there, you can really get in a funk. So I would say just, try to hook up with a church, an organization, a friend for coffee, whatever, or do something at home, a jigsaw puzzle, whatever. Just keep your mind going and, stay healthy, mind-wise.
Maria, you actually mentioning the different organizations, mentioning faith-based organizations, or what have you, churches. A lot of the times we think that people have to be our own DNA or be blood to be family.
Right.
And so, family doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming out of the same household, or doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming throughout the same bloodline. Family can be someone who you actually build that connection with, or you have a connection with. It begins to build upon that original engagement, if you would. And so I'm thinking right now, sometimes we need to, the best thing we can do is get out of our comfort zone and begin creating new memories.
Yeah.
We talked about memories that we can recall and that we miss, but life is full of transition. Life is full of, seasons, right? We're talking about seasons.
Right.
They come and seasons go. We're going into the winter season, but we know that we're looking to spring, and then spring into summer. And sometimes relationships are like that. And we won't necessarily be able to experience a new season of relationships if we don't put ourselves out there. I'm remembering about a Bible verse right now. We must first show ourselves friendly. Right. And so sometimes it just really kind of takes getting out there, as you said, Maria, and putting ourselves out there, sparking that conversation and showing ourselves friendly. Yeah. It seems like you got something. What are you thinking, Maria?
Well, I was saying that there's so many churches here, and we've been going to a few, trying to find a church home to go to. But we went to a Methodist church, and Randy was like, "Oh, whoa, what are we doing here?" And they had activities for the kids. I'm all about activities.
Yeah.
And so I said, and the people were so friendly. We went there, then we went to the Grace Church, and I think people sometimes, again, put themselves in this box, and they're like, "Oh, I can only congregate with a black church or a white church, or you know what I'm saying, or different race, mixed black, white church, whatever." But it's like there's so many people, and we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to finish the race, right? we love the Lord, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to sometimes put our walls down and be able to fellowship with other churches and other races, and because they got some awesome programs for kids and singles and married. I'm not saying you got to join the church, but it's nice to fellowship with different churches. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and every church has something to offer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, you got a question right
Yep.
there.
So we have a comment from Miss Raya Brown, and she says, yes, go down memory lane and let it encourage you to let new people in. I used to have the holiday funk for years after moving here with almost no family, but the more I opened up, it definitely helped me get out of that. Absolutely. And I was going to add, and I know it's about that time, but I was going to add, like, sometimes it can be painful to remember, but once you get beyond, the pain, or the loss, remember all of those good times. Remember that, because it'll bring a smile on your face. Remember that person during, you know what I'm saying, this time. What would they be doing? What would you be doing? Because you just might find yourself laughing like this person, we would be doing X, Y, and Z right now. So yes, remember and let it encourage you. Those are good words, Raya. Thank you.
Yeah, very powerful. And I just want to be vulnerable here, a little bit transparent right here. You go through phases. I'm thinking about when I lost my mother. You go through phases onto your healing, right? And I can remember in the beginning when I first lost my mother, they were remembering her brought tears of pain and tears of sorrow, right? But as time went on, sometimes, healing comes over time. And so as time went on, I was able to remember and reflect on the good times my mom had. And I just be like, man, my mom is crazy. And so those tears were no longer tears of sadness, but they were actually tears of joy. And saying, knowing that, and this will go right into this next question, knowing that we will see each other again.
Amen.
Will see each other again. And so I think that's a great segue to our next question. Maria Johnson, in your own words, what would you say is the true meaning of this season?
I would say the true meaning, obviously, like Sister Onika said, is Christ, his birth, even though it's not the actual time. But I think it's celebrating family. I think it's celebrating family. I think it's celebrating Christ and all that he has done for us. He has blessed us throughout the year. We're going into a new year. So it's kind of like reflecting on the whole year, because we're going to be celebrating New Year soon. And so you're reflecting on what God has done for you and all that he has blessed you with, your family, your friends. You got a house over your head, your health, so it's spending time with family and recognizing the Lord for all that he has done, I would say.
I love that. Well said, Maria. Honey, what about you with that question? In your own words, what would you say is the true meaning of this season?
Christ and love. God is love. And so when I think about Christmas, I think about the love and the joy of Christ. That's what it, like, to sum it all up, that's what it is. Because like you said, family, your family doesn't have to necessarily be your blood family,
right?
But if there's love there,
right,
that's the important part. Love and sharing and all of it, just being together, like that's the part,
right,
for me anyway.
Yeah, I love it. I think this whole conversation, thank you for that, honey. I think this whole conversation really has, we have really heard what this season is about. We've heard how important to have relationships, right? We have heard how we put up the decorations, and the tradition is passed on from generation to generation. And something really does happen that is special when we come together. It causes for us to slow down from this Western culture, right? And where it just says work, 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 and you never really stop, right? And so this it causes for us to stop, pause, and breathe, and really try to get back on course, not just for this season, but throughout the remainder of the year. And so what we really want to do is just encourage individuals to not allow this to just be a seasonal thing. Mm-hmm. When you are with family members, when you are with your friends, when you are with your loved ones, keep that thing going. Don't let life become so busy that it brings connection. It doesn't take nothing but 2 seconds to pick up the device. We all have one.
Right.
Make a phone call if you like to if you're like me. I like to hear the voice from time to time. But if you got those Twitter fingers, go ahead and send that text message. Go ahead and do whatever it takes, but don't let the relationships die. And so we want to encourage those who may be having to start over and rekindle new relationships. If you are looking for some of those organizations, if you are looking for churches, if you are looking for any services to help you with safety and sustainability, whatever it may be, you just want some moral support, you can definitely reach out to us, area code 612-400-4046. Or if you want to send an email, you can go ahead and email us at info@ondusa.org. Or if you're old fashioned like me, I'm not that old, P.O. Box 12 Fridley, Minnesota. Okay. We love you. And we want to ask Maria Johnson, can you give us some closing remarks here? And then one more plug for your contact info for your services.
Yes. I just wanted to say I love One and Done. I love your organization. I've always been rooting for you guys since day one. I think what you guys do for the community and for people is a blessing. And I just want to thank you guys for having me this evening. It's been just wonderful. I'm not going to get all Kim Kardashian cry-eye, ugly face. But I just want to let you guys know to keep doing what you're doing. You know, your podcast, you guys are funny. You guys bring good information, wisdom, knowledge, and you're creating memories in households. Believe it or not, I mean, we don't have to be playing taboo or anything, but you are creating memories that people are sitting around their table and watching you guys and getting these nuggets that will help them on their daily walk and daily life. So I think you guys are amazing and you're amazing together.
Well, thank you.
Together, I like that.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome. I'm your number one fan, yo. I'm your number one. So, but yeah, you can check out my art, Maria J's Illustration and Graphics on Facebook. I don't do Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm kind of old school. Facebook. Or we can do Sweet Angels NC for the Peg Dolls. And I do logos and I do all types of art and graphic design. And I do a little, like Randy said, my husband said, I'm an entrepreneur. I do a little bit of everything. So.
You do. And you're amazing. Your artwork is amazing. You're very talented. So I encourage you all to go ahead and reach out to her. She'll hook you up.
Thank you. Thank you, you guys. I love you guys.
We love you too.
We love you too.
You know, before we take honey, what about you? Any closing remarks for us on tonight?
Well, I don't know what you're going to say about this, but this is my closing remark. It's the most wonderful time. That's my closing remark. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. We love you. Thank you for chiming in. We hope that you know, as Maria Johnson said, that someone hears something that is informative, that would sow a seed, you know, and encourage you to keep on going on. And remember, if you feel like you're not going to make it, know that you're not in the struggle by yourself. We say
Amen.
You, and we talk to you soon. Thank you, Maria.
We love you.
Love you. Give the kids love.
I will. God bless. Merry Christmas.